and welcome to FCB360. I'm Ben Tsujimoto, a Buffalo.com writer and host of this weekly program. We want to thank all of you for watching our debut episode last week and hope you're enjoying the FC Buffalo content on Buffalo.com so far this season. We also want to thank WBBZ-TV for their support this season and allowing us to produce this show in their Eastern Hills Mall studio. Now that we've exchanged pleasantries, let's get right to the action from the May 10th opener. Nearly 500 fans took advantage of the Robert E. Rich all-high stadium covered seating to witness FC Buffalo's triumph over Zanesville Athletic 2-1. The Blitzers were the first team on the board in the 39th minute when UB alum Richie Wilson took a pass from Andy Teat and poked a shot over Zanesville's keeper. FC Buffalo wrapped up the half with a 1-0 lead over Zanesville. FC Buffalo sustained the momentum and doubled its lead in the 56th minute as Andy Teat found the back of the net, volleying home a long pass from center defender Ryan Walter. FC Buffalo nearly preserved the clean sheet until a goal in the 85th minute from Zanesville's John Barr put added pressure on the Blitzers.
Come on, get after him.
Unfortunately for Zanesville, Barr's strike was too little, too late, and FC Buffalo secured a 2-1 victory. I caught up with Zanesville head coach Brenton Dawson after the match and asked him if the expansion team's lack of continuity played a role in the loss.
They put in a good effort. We played a much better second half. First half, we kind of sat back. We weren't keeping possession too well. And conditions didn't really help with that too much. Second half, we came out, we kept possession a little bit more, and then, last 15 minutes we really went after it. So we made a few tactical changes, a few changes off the bench, and made a bit of a difference. So all in all, not bad for first game and only having 5 practices. So
a clever finish from John Barr late in the second half sort of gave you guys some life, and you pressed forward into the game's final 7 or 10 minutes. So can you talk a little bit about the energy that goal gave?
Well, you could see a change in momentum the second we put it in the back of the net. And I mean, you always get that, especially in this game. And the guys they woke up a little bit. When you're down by 2, you kind of lose faith a little bit, and then you get that goal. It's right there. You only need one more to get back in the game. So, they really went out after it. We had a couple opportunities, a couple offside calls, that killed us a little bit. But, those things we got to work on next week. So,
FC Buffalo won't meet Zanesville again until June 2nd, when the Blitzers travel to Ohio in search of a road win. Moving on to Friday's stars, man of the match Andy Teat deposited the eventual game-winning goal and tacked on an assist as well. I talked to the former Akron High School and UB star following the match and asked him how he felt about the win.
Obviously, we're feeling great. We went out here, we had high expectations for the game, and effort-wise, it was kind of obvious to see everyone just putting in tackles, getting stuck in from the front to the back. Everyone's buzzing right now. So,
playing facilitator on the first goal on a through ball to Richie, a college teammate of yours after all. Talk a little bit about that play, being able to see Richie run through and playing the ball into space.
Richie's great. He's got great pace out wide. He's one of the most technical players I've ever played with, and I know he's out wide. He's always looking to get behind the defense. So it was kind of I didn't even have to look. Knew he was there, getting behind. With the grass the way it is, the ball slipped in behind. He did great to finish. So.
The second goal, the one that you scored from Ryan Walter from afar, can you talk a little bit about that play, and did you make eye contact with him? Did he play the ball blindly? What kind of happened on that sequence?
Well, it's actually funny. Ryan's actually another one of my teammates from Binghamton before I came to UB, and it was one of those things. I looked up, he looked up at the same time, made eye contact, kind of knew what he was going to do, and he did great. Put the ball right on my foot. I just kind of had to tap it in. So.
Teet has been a fixture in FC Buffalo's history, a dangerous target striker with a nose for goal. Hopefully he can maintain the momentum in this Friday's tilt at All-High Stadium. Brendan Murphy was pleased with the win over Zanesville, so I asked the head coach if this is how he envisioned his first match at the helm.
I thought, our guys really battled hard early. We had a ton of chances. We just didn't put any away. We got a nice goal, which helped going into halftime. And, the second goal I thought was a beautiful goal, executed perfectly. Great run. Andy Teet peeled off the back and just finished a great ball in from Ryan Walter. I was just happy with the way the boys battled. They really fought for each other and they came together as a team. So it was a great win. It was nerve-wracking at the end, but I'm happy with the result.
You were able to set the tone early with possession in the midfield. You could tell Ian Mort was a big, very involved early on. Talk about being able to set the tempo, being able to kind of relax and calm down just through possession.
Yeah, our game plan was early. We want to try to press them a little bit and put them under pressure and get some balls over the top so we could hopefully stretch them out. And you could see early in the game, the first 10 minutes, it was kind of going back and forth. But I think that worked to our advantage in that they were dropping off a little bit after about the 15th minute. We could start really swinging the ball and moving it. And that's when we got the possession. That's when we got the combination plays. That's when we found our through balls. And we actually started to really generate a bunch of chances. So that was huge for us to get some possession in the middle part of that first half.
You had a bit of a makeshift back four, and maybe not what we'll see later in the season, but they seem to have a lot of continuity and be able to communicate well, and there were a couple crucial offsides where they stepped up on. Talk about their effort as a unit.
Yeah, I was very happy with the back four. I thought, those guys really did well together. Their shape was good all night. They were passing runners off really well, and the way that they communicated was key. I thought Kareem did a good job communicating the whole game, and I thought the back four, they were in tandem and they were working together. So I couldn't ask for more from them, really. I thought the goal came from a guy in the midfield that didn't really track his runner because the run came from an outside back, so our outside midfielder needed to get back with that runner to prevent the serve, which actually led to the goal. So I wouldn't even put that on the back four as much. But, I thought they did a great job. I was really impressed with them.
When we come back, Brendan Murphy will join us in studio to discuss the win over Zanesville. We'll also preview this Friday's match against FC Sparta Michigan. FCB360 will be back right after this.
This episode of FCB360 is brought to you by Buffalo.com, WBBZ-TV, your hometown television station, Rich's Products, and The Situation Room, making visiting teams feel right at home since 2009.
I'm back with FC Buffalo head coach Brendan Murphy, whose team is coming off a 2-1 win in the home open over Zanesville Athletic. Brendan, congratulations on your first win as an NPSL head coach and your debut with the Blitzers.
Thank you, Ben.
Was it a relief at all for you to know that just through one game you matched last year's win total?
It was definitely a relief to get the victory, I'll say that much.
There are a lot of positives to take away. Obviously, Andy Teet played well. You generated 2 goals. You almost held a clean sheet. What are some things that you took away that were positives?
I like the fact that we created a bunch of chances early in the game. I thought we came out aggressive. We attacked them. There was nice periods later in the game that we had some decent possession. I thought we were pretty organized defensively with our back four. I think we're starting to figure out when we're going to press everybody together, pressing up, trying to win the ball in their attacking third or in our attacking third, and when we're going to drop back and kind of keep our shape a little bit. There was times when maybe one guy went and the other guys didn't go to press them, and we got beat a little bit there. But there was a lot of positives. It's starting to help me figure out who's going to be contributing in which positions, throughout the game, just being able to see them actually in a competitive environment. So, and to be able to do that and get a bunch of guys on the field and be able to see them play and then also get the result was, I thought that was a big positive.
You used 6 subs in the second half, all in the second half, and that's when Zanesville started to mount a bit of a comeback. Do you see that as a lack of depth or maybe just a lack of familiarity bringing so many different faces in all at once?
No, I think it's, I had the plan going into the game that I wanted to really get a look at these guys. So, I trust everybody on the roster, and I thought I'm going to get them in the game, and whether it's 10 minutes or 15 minutes or some guys 20 and 30 minutes. You know, I wanted to see them play. So I kind of was resigned to the fact that I was going to make a bunch of subs that game. What I definitely think I need to do a better job of is timing the subs a little bit better to try to keep the continuity that we had established throughout the game, and not just throwing everybody in there and just letting them run. I think if I could maybe time those a little bit more strategically, that will help us.
Now we saw you, assistant coach Bob Roach, and an unfamiliar face on the sideline helping with the coaching throughout the game. Can you tell us a little bit about who that unknown character was?
It's Mike Ertel. He's a great young coach, up-and-coming coach. Really been putting a lot of time into his coaching development over the last several years. I first met Mike coaching him. I was his instructor at a D license in Amherst, and just thought he was a really bright guy and very dedicated to the craft of coaching. I've seen him working hard, with a lot of different youth teams and high school teams, and he's done his coach education as well. He's gotten his C license, so he's been a valuable asset to us. Sitting in the first half, he sat up in the press box and did a great job kind of figuring out what Zanesville was trying to do against us, and then he brought down a great report at halftime, and he contributes constantly, so I'm happy to have Mike aboard.
Moving on to this Friday's match, another match at 7:30 at Robert E. Rich All-High Stadium. The Blitzers face FC Sparta Michigan, a team that's also an expansion side, new to the Great Lakes Division, and they split their first two games. They had the dreaded Friday-Sunday weekend to start the season. They beat AFC Cleveland, who's the defending champions, and then they got squashed by Detroit City 5-1. So it's really kind of hard to figure out, at least from our perspective, what to expect. What are you looking at heading into Friday?
I expect a very good soccer team. Looking at the names, looking at the players they have, I see a lot of talent and a lot of depth. So I think this is going to be a great challenge for us to see if we can match and hopefully exceed our effort and our energy from the last game and try to bring another positive result to the field.
A lot of NPSL clubs seem to have players trickling in as the first couple of weeks unfold. Have there been any new faces ever since Friday's game ended for you guys?
Well, one notable face that I'm excited to have back and training with us now is Nick Garcia from Niagara. I think he's going to be a great contributor on the field, and he's just already one practice in, he's a leader. He's communicating constantly. He's pulling guys in. He has just a great knowledge of the game, and his touch is on point. So I think he's going to step right in and contribute right away.
In training this week, what have some of the preparation focuses been on? Was it something that you saw in last Friday's game, or is it something to maybe counteract something that Sparta does? What are you what have you prepared in training?
Right now, I think the best thing we can do is really focus on us and focus on how just to get better on the things that we struggled in on Friday and try to continue to mold the guys and build the chemistry. So a couple of things that we focused on were I thought we created a lot of early chances, but we didn't put one away. So just a little bit more focus and competitiveness on the finishing aspect. We did a great job creating the chances, but we really have to put those away, or else, a team like Sparta, a team like Cleveland, Detroit, they're probably going to make us pay if we don't put those away early. So a lot of finishing and, just a little bit extra focus on that. Also, more situational play. How are we going to defend a lead when we have 2 goals up going into the 15 minutes left in the game? What happens if we're down a goal with 5 minutes left? How are we going to change how we approach either our attacking or our defending, or just overall our philosophy on how we're going to play? So that's been a big focus, is the situational play, continuing to develop our understanding of each other, just possession games and getting a chance to really run out and play a little bit of 9v9. But those situational plays, as well as more finishing, just being just extra focused and take that extra little bit of care when you're inside the box to make sure it gets in the back of the net.
Thanks again, Coach Murphy, for joining us on FCB360.
Appreciate you having me, Ben.
Now for a quick word with our sponsors before we wrap up the show.
This episode of FCB360 is brought to you by Buffalo.com, WBBZ-TV, your hometown television station, Rich's Products, and The Situation Room, making visiting teams feel right at home since 2009.
This wraps up the second episode of FCB360. Thank you again to FC Buffalo head coach Brendan Murphy for joining us on the set. And remember, this Friday, May 17th, you can see FC Buffalo in action against FC Sparta Michigan at Robert E. Rich All-High Stadium. Tickets are $5, the Black Market food truck will be on the scene, and Community Beer Works will be giving away koozies. I'm Ben Tsujimoto, and we'll see you at All-High.